Hello, hello, hello. It is the final finale live stream of 14 days of love. And I know I've actually been excited about tonight because it is a all male panel and they're going to hopefully give us some insight as women on the biggest, they say the biggest secret is trying to know what a woman wants, but the biggest secret is knowing what a man wants, child. I'm trying to tell you because we've had history of not really knowing and therefore falling short. And we don't want to continue falling short on this matter. It is 14 days of love, and we want to know how to love our mate, honey, how to love our man. So why not end it with a little insight from them? So call your friends, call your boo, call your sister friend, girlfriend, whomever you need to call. And I want everybody online tonight, the individuals, the couples, the women, and the men, because we're just going to talk about what we need to talk about so that we can grow better in our love and our relationships with our spouses. So like always, I'm gonna give you some time to 5 minutes to the hour to come on in the room. If you on the Zoom, if you're on the feed, share it. Share it on your multiple social medias, Facebook. Don't think you can share it to Instagram. I don't think so.
Mm.
But you can share it on your multiple social media platforms if you have various social pages, even your groups. Let me let you bring this conversation, this topic in. I would say if you are in a church, um, and you have access to like the church group or some members, share it with them as well. Because one thing we don't do that I haven't seen in my upbringing enough of is teaching people how to show up and love their mate and being free to actually have the conversation and talk about the hard conversations instead of trying to water it down or make it politically correct. We need to have the conversations because we're thinking them, we're concerned, we want to know, but we're afraid to ask. And
Mhm.
you know me, I don't deal with all that. We're gonna talk the real stuff so you can actually heal, you can actually get to a sweet spot. So we're gonna give you guys some chances and some times to come on in and we'll begin this conversation started. Hello, Harold. This is our honorary guest speaker right here. My godfather Harold. He
Hey,
always
Harold.
has something to say, child. But it be on point. I ain't gonna front him off. I ain't gonna front him off like that. It be on point. And I will introduce the other men that you see sitting before you in a moment, in a second. I want to give them their rites of passage on entering in. So let me pull up and make sure we are ready to roll. Make sure we are ready to go. That ain't the one I want. I'm giving you guys a chance to come on, come on, come on, come all. It is the final live stream. We are officially ending tomorrow, but tonight is going to be the last live conversation before we bring it all to a close. Okay, what I can do, it Jerry, the way he would get in, he would get on his laptop, and the way he wants to communicate. Avery, can you send the link to our other guest speaker so that he can log into the StreamYard?
I did, but let me text it to his phone. I sent it to his email, but let me text it to him. Give me
Okay.
1 minute, and I'm doing it
Okay, so
right now.
Jerry, have him check the email as well as check his phone. It's going to be a StreamYard link that gets him into the main site because everyone else is viewing it via Facebook Live or YouTube. And thank you all
All
for coming in
right.
the room. Bear with us. Give us a second. Give us a
I
second.
just texted him as well. I followed it up with the text.
Okay. Grab your friends and come on in, y'all. We're going to have some interacting tonight between the male and the females. Even though it's an all male cast, we want the women to talk back to us too, because this is really for us to learn
Yeah.
about our men. So it behooves you to come on in
Mhm.
and make sure it's being shared on the platforms.
I'm gonna do one more thing
And
too.
I will be right back.
Okay. Gibbs, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, finesse. Just I mean, Pastor Avery, I'm doing all right.
Some things don't. Some things die hard, man.
I know you feel me. I'm doing all right, man. You know what? I'm here, man. I'm here. I serve a mighty God. You know, that's what it boils down to. In the midst of all of the uncertainties in life, God is good.
Amen.
Yeah, what's the deal with you, man? How you doing today?
Good, man. I just, I think advice. I just been resting. I spent a good time just resting.
Mm,
I think I needed to.
mm,
Yeah, I think I really needed that.
mm. Do you have any sermon prep, or you doing more Bible study prep recently?
More Bible study prep. I got a Bible study coming up. Not this Thursday, but next Thursday. I'm completing a series, and
Mm.
then I'm completing a men's series at the end of the month.
All right, what's the series on?
Heart of a servant, servitude.
Mm.
Yeah, heart of a
Hello, hello,
servant.
hello.
So,
And there goes our dear other guest. We will be starting soon. And like I said,
oh,
make
he's on.
sure we will be starting soon. And like I said, make sure you have sent this out because this one you don't want to miss.
Yeah, I'm sending it out to some people individually as well.
You don't want to miss this tea. Hello, Jaquan. How are thee? How are thee? Can you hear us? Hello, Eric. Welcome to 14 Days of Love. How are you doing, Charles? Nice to have you back. I told you I got some man folks on here. You see that shirt? I wore it tonight on purpose. Yes, I did. Hallelujah. Hmm.
Is that my good friend, Mr. Wash?
No, that is Jerry saying she see me,
Oh no,
and
I
I
thought
hope
Eric Wash was on. Oh my man,
Eric
Eric Sullen
Sullen,
on.
Eric
Hey,
Sullen, Eric Sullen.
Mr. Sullen. All right.
Okay, Jaquan, we lost you there. We lost you. We lost you. We're gonna. Sorry, everyone. We're gonna wait. We're gonna give him a chance to log back in, and then we will move forward
Okay.
with our show. Give us a few seconds. Just a little tech today. Just a little, of course, a little tech on the night of the last night, because it's finna be some good eating tonight, y'all. So don't even worry about it. It's coming through. It's coming through. Where are my ladies at? I see the men are showing up, and Jerry's in the building. But where are my ladies? Am I by myself tonight? I need y'all to let me know
Don't
that
want you to be
y'all
by my.
here. Let me know that y'all here with your girl. Let me know that y'all in the place to be. Are we in? Are we in? What are we doing tonight? And he is logging back in, so he won't be too long. Little while, long, little while.
Okay. He's still what he dropped from where he was at, I
Yeah,
guess.
he dropped and he's logging back in now. Okay, so while we are waiting on Jaquan to log in again, ladies, can I hear loud and proud from the comments section if I have any of my ladies on tonight? Because the men are showing up strong tonight, Chad. I see y'all and I appreciate you. I appreciate you. But are my ladies coming in? My ladies coming in. Is Trinice on, Stacy?
Now I heard my son is out taking care of some stuff.
Oh, okay.
You know, because me and
Okay.
her got to do our thing tomorrow. You know,
Yes, yes, yes.
snickerdoodle love.
Like, listen, what better way than to have 14 Days of Love the night before? Be
Mm.
coming to a close on Valentine's Day. See, I'm trying to help the people. I didn't give y'all things a happy spouse, happy house. We talked about you know, say less so you know how to communicate with your spouse. We did a little bit of touch me, tease me on Saturday. And so we kind of got y'all set up and ready to go to have that great, hopefully
Mm.
connecting on the love
Mm-hmm.
tip. So we hopefully we gave y'all what y'all needed. And tonight, ladies, we're gonna put the little, little cherry, little sprinkle, okay? Because it's not just a holiday
Most
for
definitely.
women to be celebrated. Let's get that myth on out of the door. Valentine's Day is not a holiday for the women to be celebrated. It's for love to be celebrated amongst you
Yeah.
and your mate. And so we're gonna make sure that as much as we loving on she, you loving on he.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, somebody. All right, now we have
Mm-hmm.
our final
Yeah.
guest that will be added to the conversation. Hello, 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 Jaquan. How are you?
I'm blessed. How's everybody?
We're good, we're good, we're
Doing
good.
good,
And so
man. Doing good.
we're gonna kick in and kick off and get this thing started. So hey y'all, hey, welcome to 14 Days of Love. And I love the fact that you all are rocking out, was in the building, in the place, especially these men showing up with their faces to talk from a male's perspective on how to be loved. It is going to be a great show. We are at the end of 14 Days of Love, and I saved the best for last. But if I'm being honest, I can't really say the best because it's been a hitter the whole
Yeah.
2 weeks. And if y'all been with us for the whole
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks, you would understand what I am saying. You would understand that it is true. But nevertheless,
Yes,
it's
it
about the
has
men
been
tonight.
great.
Nevertheless, it's about the men tonight. It's about the men tonight. And what we are doing tonight is having a
Mm.
discussion called Love Without Works is Dead. And the reason why I titled it this is because when it
Okay.
comes to our men, we, and I'm just going to be honest, and yes, I'm going to speak on behalf of the ladies, we kind of don't think that we have to put that much work into it. Okay, we don't have to do too
Mm-hmm.
much to please you. Oh, I'm easy. Well, I'm good. You just, look, baby, as long as you happy, I'm happy. And it's like, but that's not really the truth because men now are dealing with a lot of mental battles. Marriages are
Mm-hmm.
breaking up, divorces are happening, and so it's not just give me football and sex and I'm good to go. It's definitely more to that. And we need to understand what that looks like so that we can properly love and caress and finesse and be present on the behalf of our men, which is why it is love without works, because it's gonna take some works, ladies, is dead. And to help us with that topic on tonight, we have none other than Pastor Stacy Jones of the Wikiki, Milwaukee, or is it Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota,
Uh,
Minneapolis.
of the Minneapolis area. We also have our dear friend John or Jaquan Shaw coming through, Mr. Coach himself.
Coach
And
J.
then we have my fiance, the one that has been helping me moderate this second half, Pastor Avery Herring, the man
Great
himself.
job.
Thank you, guys.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the emoji for tonight. Now, every night I'm saying, hey, put whatever emoji in the chat if you X, Y, and Z. The emoji for tonight is the king. So
Got to
make
put a crown in
sure,
there.
Yes. So make sure you scroll over to your king emoji and be ready to use him because we're talking about our kings tonight, ladies. And if you don't call your man a king, you need to
Mm-mm.
listen tonight, ladies,
All right.
so that you can
Who got
see the
put in the kingdom
king
mode?
in your man. Okay. So, gentlemen, welcome
Yes.
to the show. I appreciate
Thank you.
y'all being here.
Thank you.
Now, before we
Appreciate
get
Thanks
you
for
having
started,
me.
having
if
me.
you want to just, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for, joining on and accepting the invite. How you doing there, Stacy? You doing good? You ready to roll? Ready to let it rip?
Naturally, like a champ.
Mhm.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into it. Put ladies first. Ladies, put a king emoji in the chat if you know your husband's top two love languages.
Mm.
And you get a special brownie if you put them in the correct order. But put a king in the chat if you know your king's top two love languages. And yes, we're going to start it off with that because we're going to pick that thing apart a little bit, cherry pick that.
Okay.
So let's see if any ladies know. Ladies, y'all know. And again, if you are doing a device that you don't have like the emoji on, you can just simply say, I know what it is. I know what it is. I'm a cheat. Say, I know what it is if you're not able to put a king in the chat. So what I want to ask the men, I asked them prior to logging in what their top two love languages was. I was not able quite yet to get Jaquan's, but I'll have you chime in on this piece. So I'm going to ask you as the panel, do you know what your love language is? And how important is it to you to feel loved and valued by your wife? What is your love language if you know it? And how important is it for your wife to express those two love languages for you to feel loved and valued by her?
Okay.
So we'll start off with let's start off with Stacy. What are your top two love
My
languages?
top one is acts of service,
Okay.
and the second one is touch.
Acts of service and touch.
Yeah,
Avery, what
touch.
are your top two love languages?
My top two are words of affirmation will be number one, and quality time will be the second one.
And Jaquan, are you aware of what the five love languages are?
Yes, I am, and it's
What are
crazy.
your
The
top
same
two?
two that pastor said are my same two.
In that order,
The
words of
same two
affirmation
Pastor
and
Edwin
quality
said.
time.
Yes, it is. Says the test.
Now, yes, there is a test called www.lovelanguages.com. If you didn't, well, just aware. So either one of you can chime in. Why is it important for your wife to know what your love language is to show you that she loves and values you?
I'll start it off. I think it's important for your mate to know what your love language is for two various reasons. Um, First one being that it shows, you know, them that they really know how to love you and how to
Okay.
love you properly. Because sometimes when we don't know our mate's love language, we'll go off of what we think we're doing, and it's fine. It's good, but it's if that's not, if personal touch is not my love language as much as words of affirmation, you'll be doing something that I like, but it won't be
Mm,
necessarily something that I really love. So it shows that you're intent, that you love how to know your partner. I think the second reason too is because once you know your partner's love language, you can be more
mm,
intentional. So it
mm.
brings it like you're more intentional when you love.
All right. All right. Stacey, Jaquan, what you got to say about the importance of your wife knowing it and how what it means to you.
I think like with anything else, and kind of like what I'll piggyback on what Pastor's saying, but for me, I break it down pretty easy. She could be doing everything in the world, and I try not to say anybody. If you're dealing with anybody, you could be doing anything in the world, and if it's not what they're looking for or what hits their top point, it's really like you're doing it. You'll be like, oh, okay, that's good, baby, but you could have been doing this. So it takes out a lot of the guesswork. And to be hitting right on the spot, I could be like, wow, my baby is really, to me, when my baby died, I'm like, man, she's really attentive when she does those things and pays attention to my love language. It really makes me feel appreciated even more. Like, man, my baby putting in that work.
Listen. Okay, Stacey. Why do you feel like that helps to make you feel loved and valued?
Well, two things I'll just say. Number one, that so she can love me well. And then two, to have a healthy, functional, affectionate relationship.
Now that was very specific, sir. Healthy, functioning, and effective.
Affectionate.
Affectionate.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that, because I don't think we really know that men want a healthy, fun, and affectionate relationship. We sometimes get the idea that whatever pleases us, or as long as y'all getting, like I said, sex, you're fine. But a healthy, fun, and affectionate relationship comes from understanding your love languages.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me a little bit about that. Like, what could be, how do we make sure we look out for that, or how do we know that in giving that to you, it's going to hit those markers and in turn make you be healthy for us too?
Yeah, I mean, it's communication is necessary. Having conversations in detail, and both being open, sharing with each other what desires are. Because sometimes I think we live in this fantasy world of feeling though your mate should automatically know what you want. That's more idealistic than realistic, and we get ourselves into trouble like that, and then when that happens, then we can play the games of the silent treatment, and it just spirals out of control like that. And that's dysfunctional. That's really a dysfunctional way. And then a person can be affectionate, but there can be some dysfunction in that as well. There's a lot you can unpeel an onion with that. But real talk, though, it's just important that you really know and understand. Kind of like where my heart is at, where my passion is at. Real talk. So
Harold said, sex ain't number one anymore. And when I look at what you all said, even for you, touch was second. But then for Avery and Jaquan, that wasn't even on there. Now, obviously, y'all don't want to just not, have, sexless relationships, but it wasn't even on there. And so it's interesting because the world would say, all you need is sex and football. You good to go. But y'all saying, nah.
Nah, I need a sandwich too. That. Fix me a sandwich.
Wow.
I'm just playing.
He said, I sex, football, and food. Listen.
I'm being silly.
Yeah, the sandwich. Don't forget the hoagie.
Give me that hoagie,
right?
Yeah, like the Huxtable.
Right. But it's good to see that you're like, no, that's not. I need more than that, because I'm dealing with some mental balances sometimes. I'm dealing with some emotional struggles sometimes. Sometimes I need what you don't think that I need. But I need to speak on it. So let's go ahead and go to the next part of it then. Men, put a king in the emoji. Put a king emoji in the chat. If your quality time that both of them have spoken on, if your quality time with your mate is as important as quality time alone.
Oh.
So men, put a king emoji in the chat or say, yup. If quality time with your mate is just as important and of equal value to you as quality time with yourself.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
So I got 2 yups. What about you, Stacey? Is it a yup for you?
I'm trying to make sure I understand the question, sister.
Quality time with yourself
Uh-huh.
is just as important as the quality time you make sure you have with your spouse.
Mm.
No, to be honest with you, I don't really know. I actually think at times I
No.
like the thought of being with her more than myself. You know,
Mm.
everybody's a little
And we let
everybody's a little different. You know what I mean?
that is true.
To be real
That
with
is
you,
true.
at
Now, what
times
we're
I'm not
talking
sure.
about is this thing that my pastor, Pastor Stanley Murray, if he's on tonight,
Uh,
I say hey. He talks about the kingdom of nothing and how
Mm.
sometimes a man wants to reside in the kingdom of
I
nothing.
agree with that.
And that means I need to have some time by myself, not doing nothing, not responsible for nothing, not trying to think about what I want to do. No, my mind ain't got to be nowhere. I ain't got to be thinking about, no, baby, I don't want to go to the store for you. I just want to sit right here and just chill and do whatever it is that I don't want to do to my best ability of doing it. And so that is literally what we call quality time, or that self care time with yourself. And I want to talk to you guys and have you guys speak on the fact of how do you know when you need quality time with us versus when you need quality time along with yourself?
Ah. Well, I'll tackle this one, and I'll tackle it from two ways. I think in order to really, I think the answer to that is to understand, because everybody, like Stacy said, everybody's quality time is different. What you do in your kingdom of nothing is different. What I use my kingdom of nothing for is not just that, you know, time to be like, I don't feel like doing nothing and to do that. And I also use it as a sort of recharging, if you will. It's my time to. If you ever watch Iron Man, as
Mhm.
mighty as he is and all of the powers that he has in the suit that he has, he eventually has to go back to Stark Enterprises and either recharge that same suit or get another version of the Iron Man suit. And
Mm.
then once that recharging, and I know I'm an analogy person, but once I recharge in that suit, all right, now I'm ready to come out of the kingdom. And then
Mm.
now I actually miss my mate. And now, okay, I've had enough time
Mm.
in my kingdom of nothing. Now I need my kingdom to come in, and we had a kingdom of something. So that's what I use mine. Mine is like the Iron Man recharge.
Okay, okay. Now viewers, I want you to speak back to me too while these men are speaking as well. Chime in on your points and thoughts of it. So, Stacy, Jaquan, how do you know when it's time to have quality time with your boo versus when you need quality time with you?
I think
Well,
kind of like Pastor. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. My
go
bad.
ahead, my brother. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. It's cool.
No, I was saying it's kind of what he's saying. It's a thin line of walking those things, but you have to fit both in. And for me, different
Mm.
times, different days, I feel that I have to have more than the other or less than that. So it's a thin line, but at a certain time, I gotta say, I don't care what's going on, I have to put in that quality time with my baby. Like, and I
Mhm.
don't know, maybe that's the weirdness of relationship of men and women. Um, to me, that's just my opinion. Women kind of need that attention all the time. Men, we go through our spots. I can't say me. I go through my time where, yeah, I do need my alone time, but once I get that little bit of alone time that I need, now I want to be around my baby. So you got to
Mhm.
give us that time, and it's not a time frame to say at 11 o'clock, at 10 o'clock. It's just a certain time where you got to, like you said, you got to recharge. And once I recharge, anybody can have my time. The kids, my baby. I'm useful to people at that time.
So it's important to give yourself that time to resettle out of concern that maybe I don't want to go off, or I want to make sure that I've recharged, reset. If something was on my mind, I'm not projecting, I'm not giving it to you in a particular way.
Yeah,
Okay, Stacey, what were
yeah.
you going to say to the matter?
I say two ways I know. It's like when I'm fatigued and when I'm short with people.
Mm. That when you need to do what? When you need to spend time with your boo,
No,
or when you need to
when I
spend
need
time with
to
you?
have my me time when I'm
Okay,
fatigued.
so
Because when I'm
when you're
fatigued,
fatigued.
sometimes I'm short with people, And the crazy thing is, it's not even so much that I'm short with people in a rude sense. It's just that, me and Avery grew up together on the East Coast. It's just that sometimes more, I can't speak for Avery though, but the thing is, what I mean, it's like sometimes my interaction with people is not as engaging. Sometimes I just want to get to the point. And it's not to be rude. I'm not facetious. I'm not harsh or nothing like that though. But small talk. Well, I'll just say light talk is not on my radar at the moment, because sometimes people do need light talk to kind of like build the conversation, the momentum of the conversation. I know for me, when I'm fatigued, when I'm tired, I just need those moments where I just need to pause for a minute, and refuel, like my brothers are saying, So, because when I start to realize I'm being short on you, I'm like, you know what, I think I need to step back for a minute and charge.
Okay. Harold said, I like my peace. So when I can just go and sit with myself and do what I want to do, I am happy with that peace. That is not an appointment. It's just a moment with your wife, like you said, Jaquan, as well. So let me ask this piggyback question from, again, a woman's perspective. Does your desire for a long time mean that your woman has begun to crowd you, or that you need a break from us?
The funny thing is, I think, how can I say it? I question if those questions really fit it, because sometimes it could be neither one of those.
Right.
I mean,
and that's the point.
And I want to say this, sometimes that can be a disruption in our communication too, because sometimes, as a man, we can say, right now I need a little bit of alone time, and then just those two scenarios are automatic sometimes in our spouse's mindset, and we're saying, it's neither one or the other. Don't put it in a cookie cutter format. We just need time to really just think through and just process, because it's like we're not saying one or the other. It can be both or it can be neither one of them. So I think that's the trick sometimes, because it's
and that's why I asked it, because that's what we resolve it to.
Yeah.
Oh, you need a break from me. Oh, I'm being too much. Oh, the kids get on your nerves. Oh, and like you said, it could be, it could not be. What say ye, other panels?
So here's what I look at it like that in dealing with that recharge. Like, I'll piggyback. My significant other is task oriented, very task oriented. We got to do this. We got to do this. We got to do this. We got to do that. And sometimes in your kingdom of nothing, you need. I talked about that recharging portion of it. Like brother Jaquan said, he pointed on something, to be able to, anybody can get the time to love you properly. But the second time that's another way of also recharging my judgment, because your mate or your significant other leans on you, if you a king, to come out and answer and respond the way a king should respond. That's with authority, accountability, and responsibility. And those three. But sometimes in order to do that, I do need to recharge, because there's certain things that hit you. And then now when I come out of the kingdom of nothing, the king, it ain't just me coming out of the kingdom of nothing. It's the king coming out of the kingdom of nothing.
I say that.
And responding, like I said, with accountability, responsibility, and authority. Those three things.
Okay. Jaquan, I know you're not saying it's the same, but you break it down, like help us understand why it's not. It doesn't necessarily mean that.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry, I missed it.
Can you chime in and tell us why you think what your response is to that? Is it because you try and get away from us whenever you decide to have be in your kingdom of nothing?
I really don't like using the term to get away from you all, but it's kind of that's the truth of it. But it's really just recharging, because I'm short with people for real. So like if I don't recharge and my wife come in, everything that everybody else did to me, and I feel I saw this a lot in relationships. The person that you deal with the most tends to get the grunt of everybody else stuff, because they're more so around you, and that's not fair. So I try to kind of, I'm like, babe, I just need my little space so that, and then I'm gonna probably get a choke potato, but to me, it seems because women want to fix and be there for you, which is an amazing thing. But then
Mhm.
sometimes you have to realize, okay, let me give him that space. He's not being short with me. He's battled the world. And I know I'm kind of going overboard with saying the world, but in my head,
Mhm.
I'm like, man, I've dealt with all this today. All I need is a moment. And if she doesn't understand to give me that moment, everything that I went through, I could probably pour out on her if she doesn't give me that time. So I could be considered the bad guy real
Mm.
quick, real quick.
And that thing can turn around. Okay, okay.
Real quick.
Massive Mobile window tinting is in the building, and he says, "Sometimes I just need time to miss my wife.
Oh.
Mm.
That allows me to miss you. If you allow me to separate from time to time, even in my recharge." Ingrid said, "Yes." Say that again, because she's agreeing. So we agree with y'all. We understand. We're trying to learn.
Mhm.
We're trying to learn. Charles
But
goes, "Yep, that's right." And Jerry even says it. So it's like, but there are times where we need to know that. Like we take for granted what you want or what you need, especially when y'all trying not to cause no friction, nothing like that. And y'all like stand back in the way. It's like, no, we want to know what you need, so
Mhm.
that we know how to give it to you. Because if it
Mm.
is
That's fair.
okay, how long do you need to be in the kingdom of nothing? Do you need an hour in the kingdom of nothing? Or you need 2? Like, let me know so that I'm not frustrated. Because I'm like, what you doing? You just sitting here in the dark. You just say, I need this, I need that. And it's like, but communicate, like Stacey said earlier, the communication piece is the
That's true.
communication piece that's going to
Mhm.
help you get to live and operate. Because for all you know, I am a big preacher of self-care. And I want men to
Mm.
practice self-care and women to practice self-care. And if you take the kids and I go and have, a massage, get my toes, nails done, go hang out with my girlfriends, whatever case may be, that's my self-care. But you have the right to also say, well, baby, can you take the kids and leave me in the house by myself, or I'm finna go out somewhere, or I'm finna do something to where I can also, I'm not finna go get a mani-pedi, but I need to have like a shutdown time. And then when, like all you have said, when I recharge, ain't no telling how much love, because I'm ready to see you now. I'm ready to
Mhm.
be
Mm.
around you, and I can give it to you a
Yeah.
certain kind of way. Um, Massive Mobile says, I spend too much time with my wife. Harold says, that is something I have never done. Work problems, stay at home problems, stay at home. The two never meet. Now,
Mm.
Harold, I'm gonna ask you, and I'm gonna ask the fellas based off what he said. Learning how to keep that balance. But
Mm.
does the kingdom of nothing help you to keep that balance? Does making sure that your love language is being met help you to keep that balance? Because that balance comes from somewhere, and you have to learn it from
Mhm.
something. So
Okay. Well,
can somebody chime in on what he said with that?
I'll say this. Ooh, and that's thank you, Harold, for that. Um, if I had to answer it honestly, I think it's a combination of both. Um, sometimes I need, sometimes I need that, that kingdom of nothing to properly put stuff in its proper box, if you will, its proper order.
Okay.
But then sometimes I need my love language met, which is mine's is words of affirmation. Nothing, and I'll make it personal. Nothing ministers to me more than when I had a, I'll say a challenging day, fought the world, you know, was Iron Man, but now I want to be Tony Starks. And when
Mm,
that's a civilian personality, and when I'm Tony Starks, then when my significant other knows my love language and said, you know what, baby, I love the way that you're a king. I love what you do for this household. I love that's a recharging too. That's an energy recharging. The word, your love language, whereas a kingdom of nothing, that's a stationary recharging, but both
mm,
work when
mm-hmm.
it's appropriate. I think we have to do what like Sister Jerry said in the comments, let people know. I think, because you can't not let the individual you love not know what you need from them and then get mad when they don't provide it.
Mm.
That's true.
Because now you created a unrealistic expectation. And to be honest with you, as a man, I'm learning that more and more to say, you know what, baby, this is what I really need at this moment. But go ahead, I don't want to take up too
Mm.
much time for the other panelists.
No, that was really good.
Okay, Harold.
You know, I hear a lot of people say this, and I have to ask myself. I tend to think I'm easy, so it's not. I don't really need much, but
Mhm.
I guess I better ask my wife. Does she feel that way? So
You
we'll be
need your
sitting back
sandwich
thinking
though,
like,
bro. You
man,
need your
easy
sandwich.
like Sunday morning, and she gonna say I'm like a rough weekend. So maybe that's the thinking that we're thinking we're easy on women, and the woman might be thinking, man, he's so rough.
Stacey said you just need a hoagie. You be all
You
right.
need your sandwich, bro. It's all about the
Just
sandwich,
the
bro.
thing.
That's all I'm
All
telling you.
about the
That's the
thing.
theme for today.
Get
It's
your
about the
sandwich
sandwich,
together.
bro. It's about the sandwich. Yeah, word up.
Ingrid said it's very hard to keep balance. Harold responded back to his comment. He says he just developed over a long time of observation and keeping folks out of his affairs who really don't care.
Mm.
And Charles said the challenges of the world, keeping them separate and not bringing them home to our safe place. That is not always true. You can't. It's hard to do that. It's hard
Mhm.
to have that
Mhm.
balance there.
Hmm.
Um, and I would agree. But as a man, how can we as your ladies help you to have that balance of that challenge of the world trying to come home to your safe place? Not that we're trying to fix it, because we're gonna let our men be our
Mhm.
men, but how can we help you? How can we support you? Because that is your love language as well. Because acts of service, Stacey, you said it, like, that quality time words affirmation. Like, what can we do on our end in that area that you would say that would help me facing these challenges of the world to not bring them home to my safe place, to make sure that I'm balanced, to make sure that I'm observing the things and rightly dividing them right so that I don't end up snapping and being short with you or causing the friction with you.
Mm.
Okay. Y'all want to tackle it
So I'm
first,
gonna
or
let
you
Stacey
want?
start that one off.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
gonna let
Stacey
Stacey
start.
start that one off.
Well,
Start
okay,
that.
let me make sure I'm understanding the question right. So the question is, how do I handle if just clarify that one more time. I want to make sure I got it right.
In what ways would you like your wife to
Mm.
support you or not fix,
Mhm.
but support or help or do what we can do to help you have that separation where the challenges of the world won't come home to your safe place?
You know what? I think, and this is what I say. I think it gets a little complicated. Well, not complicated, but just a little. It's a unique puzzle because my wife is an excellent conversationalist and an excellent listener. I'm blessed to have that. When I come in, I pray that I'm answering the question. We engage about how each other's work day was or how the day
Okay.
was. So there's an invitation. So we have it set up to a point where we invite each other to have conversation about how our day is. So I think that's why I'm trying to really try to understand the question a little bit more. And I apologize if I
So
don't
that seems
explain it.
like you answered it one your way for you.
Mm-hmm.
Ask me, check in on what the world did to me. Talk to
Mm-hmm.
me so that I
Mhm.
can tell you about it and it stops
Right,
right there.
right,
It don't even give a chance to come in and fester because you asked me about it and I told you
right,
and it didn't just show up
right,
when I came home and I snapped on you and then you asked me like, what's wrong with you?
right. Yeah, and the thing is, it's like we well, it's something that we orchestrated when we come in. The understanding is okay. You're in. Do you need a little time to yourself, or do you kind of want to talk a little bit
Mm.
just to let you know how your day is going? And there's moments where we say, give me a minute, or there's other
Mm.
moments where, well, let's talk about it. Let's have some conversation. So I think the answer to your question is, understanding your system, understanding your system, you know, um, you
Mm.
know,
Or setting one up,
yeah,
first of all,
setting one
creating a
up, yeah,
system.
setting one
Mhm.
up, setting one up. Yep, you're right, setting one up.
Okay. Avery, Jaquan,
I'm
what
gonna
say
let
ye?
Jaquan go.
No, I second what everything he just said. That I'm spot on for what I would have said in a long roundabout way.
Hmm.
Okay, so set up a system, and I can see that.
Um, I I would agree with everything that they both said. If I had to add one thing to it,
Hmm.
and I think sometimes this is where we miss it. Sometimes dealing with our significant other is along with setting up that system, also allowing understanding.
Okay.
And what I mean by that, I'll be critical is because when you come in, you know, and what you dealt with, the understanding is that you're a man and you should be able to just toughen up and go through that. And I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna do it as my pastor said. I'm gonna step on the limb, and it's probably
Might
gonna
break.
break. Men can be just as emotional as women, but different. The way we translate emotion is different. And when your man decides, because it takes a long time for us to become vulnerable, if you will, but when he decides to be Clark Kent and instead of Superman all the time, do not look at him different. That's where that understanding comes in. He's just having a Clark Kent moment. But when he comes out of this, he's still the Superman that you fell in love with. He's still all of those things. He just had a moment. And I was listening to something that, you know, my pastor's wife said a couple of days ago on the other video, which you guys, if you have not tuned in, please tune in to Happy Spouse, Happy House. Look at it. Look at the plug. See the plug? See, I just threw the plug in there. Go back and watch that. And the question came up with one of her, which one of the points was about submission. And she said one of the ways that she submitted is that she understands her man. She thinks her man, you know, even if she thinks he's wrong or he's weak at that moment, she doesn't make him feel other than he was just because he had a moment. And she becomes a protector because she respects that relationship. And I'm gonna say this because this just came to me. The love that you respect will definitely be the love that you protect. I'm saying it again one more time for the Holy Ghost. That's a
bars
in the rap part. Yeah, that's a bar. That's a bar. Okay. But the love that you respect is going to be the one that you protect. And so with that understanding, and plus then what Stacy said, that mental check-in that his wife does when you marry those two together, then I think that's a good system to have. So that's the only thing I want to add to that.
Okay. And Harold says, I'm easy. All I need is respect, affirmation, love, peace, and sex.
Bro, you keep forgetting
And
one thing,
period.
bro. Harold, you forgot
And
one thing.
Oh,
Throw my
sandwich.
sandwich in there, brother.
Gotta eat,
You
bruh.
need a sandwich, homeboy.
Listen.
Sandwich. Oh,
Master Mobile, which is also James, the husband to one of our other viewers. He says intimacy is necessary in that equation. He also says support, love, understanding, compassion. Harold comes back and says, I just don't allow certain stuff to fester into his mind. My wife would never pick up on my demeanor that someone else thought they bothered me. And that's important to him. They've also been married. Harold, how long you, this is my godfather. How long you and my godmother been married? I think 30 years now. So they've weathered through some stuff, you know. Geraldine says she loves that analogy. Harold says he's different and he's used to it. Eric is praise hands all up in the place. And true, that's what you just said. Now I have another question. I'm going to actually jump down because you just spoke on respect, and then I'm gonna come back to that, and then we'll be actually at the end. So, men, put a king emoji in the chat if you spell love RESPCT.
Yes.
Put a king in the chat
Yes.
if you spell love RESPCT. Yep, I've had 31 years in April of marriage.
Made to me.
So you say yes, I do, or put that king. Oh, come on, Eric, with that king. Multiple kings. All right, so fellas, let's talk about it. How do you define love, and how is it demonstrated to let you know when there's a lack? How do you know? How do you want that thing demonstrated? to know that there's a lack. So first of all, what's your definition of love? Now, of course, you know, you guys spoke about how respect lets you know that we love you, how we
Mm-hmm.
respect you, how we reverence you. Would you add anything else to that definition?
Mm.
I would say, and it comes off of a therapist friend of mine who just passed this
Mm.
past week. Rest with the Lord. Though, but he said the biggest longing that everybody has is to be fully known and fully loved. And for
Mm.
me,
Mm,
um, being fully known and the conditions of affection and the conditions of love language don't change, but to be fully known. That's how I spell love. Like my wife knows
mm,
the good, the bad, the ugly, the fullness of my soul when it's revealed to her, and
Mm.
she doesn't stop. She doesn't stop. She doesn't stop in the area of love language for me. You know, she doesn't stop
mm,
when it comes to yeah. Like my top two love languages, acts of service. She doesn't stop. You know, when it comes to touch. You know, but she fully
Mm.
knows me even in my most vulnerable times.
Mm.
You know,
mm.
so to be fully known, fully
Mm.
known.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
And that's deep. Like to really know me and
Wow.
still love me.
Hmm.
Okay. Jaquan, Avery, how do y'all spell love? What's y'all definitions? What we adding to it?
I don't really all for me, and this is what I tell my baby all the time. It's an action word. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Love without
you
works
don't have to say
is
it if you
dead.
show it.
Mm-hmm.
Say that again.
How do I show it? Love without works is dead. You just said it's an action word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what am I showing you? What is it that you
Just
just how do you know something you really need?
hmm. Let me see.
Is it the quality time? Is it the touch?
Hmm, a touch, yeah, a touch.
Mm.
Um, a stare that I may get. We may catch each other staring at each other, and
Hmm.
I can be like, "Oh, she really loves me." I can tell by how she look at me sometimes. Um,
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a few different things for me, but just the actions, the thing as simple as because she know maybe I like root beer and she'll leave root beer in the refrigerator for me. For me, I'm like, man, my baby. See, a woman will be like, here. For me, I'll be like, oh, my baby really care about me. She put that root beer enough for
Mm-hmm.
me. My baby really care. So it's the simple things for me.
mm. Okay, so your love is the simple things because the simple things are detailed things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Mr. Averett, how you
I
spelling love?
I agree with everything they said. If I had to add one thing, I know. Look at Mr. Agreeable. Um, consistency. Consistent because that
Mm,
when like with something that Pastor Stacy said to be fully known and to be fully loved, and you still love me when you see my ugly. That's when you start growing into that unconditional love. See,
Wow.
people talk about unconditional love, and it's easy to show unconditional love. You know what I mean through the good times, but can you love me when you see a little bit about me that's a little ugly, but it still come with the package? You know what I mean? And that's still, and then what that does too. That's when your mate does that. I know for me, that's a healing that comes from that. Because let's face it, whether we choose to admit it, sometimes it's men, depending on what we
mhm,
see growing up, we dealt with a lot of brokenness.
Yeah.
mm,
And the mate that that not only the love you respect is the love you protect, but you got that person that through their love, it actually starts to heal you.
mm,
It actually there's a healing part, and then that person um actually, like Jaquan said, with the root beer, my baby really loved me because, she paid attention to the little thing. Now, my baby did something for me a few months ago. I gotta tell this, not to tell it, not to belabor the time, but I had one of the best birthdays of my life a couple of months ago. My baby decided to celebrate my birthday because it wasn't always, well, it wasn't just some of the things she did, but the attention to detail. You know, she came over my house and she had gifts in hand, but she got us 2 matching shirts, somewhat matching. Mine said it's the birthday king, and then hers was, you know, but both were pictures of me, you know, letting people know it was my birthday. You know, then it was, you know, she know I needed, you know, a particular gear. She got that for me. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, Hush Jaquan. And she got me a license plate that, you know, I still got to put up to have my Dallas Cowboy. You know, we went to brunch, and when we went to brunch, the bag had a goodies of some of my favorite things.
Wow.
She knows, you know, I'm the card guy out of the relationship, but she picked out the right card. You know what I mean? So it was intentional, and I felt celebrated. Now, what it did for me is it did 2 things. And ladies, I want you to hear me on this. Number one, I felt celebrated and appreciated. But the second thing that it did was it makes me want to love her harder, if you understand what I'm saying, because I felt celebrated. And sometimes a lot of women don't know that, you know, they want to motivate their man, they want to push him, and it's nothing wrong. But sometimes, based on what we see on TV and some of this other stuff, you want to do the right thing, but sometimes you know, we use the wrong tools. So tonight, hopefully, is, you know, giving you, you know, you got the right thing. You want to love your mate, but let's give you the right tools, because pushing him or telling him to man up or telling him all of that, those don't motivate a man. It actually has the opposite effect. But when you communicate, you know, with your man through his love language, and you do what Pastor Stacy said, which is letting him know to be known and fully loved, there's nothing that your man won't do for you. Fellas, can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
Stacey actually has something to say.
Go ahead.
What you saying?
I forgot what phrase you normally hit, but one of the biggest things too, though, man, we're as men, we're flushing through, even within the church, it's traumatic, but we're flushing through what some will call, you're familiar with this term, sis, hypermasculinity. And within the hypermasculinity, we're just taught basically to be emotionless, you know, just like nothing really affects us, or basically we could just press through automatically. But, you know, that's one of the biggest things, especially being married, being a believer, being African-American male too. There's just a lot of different dynamics that we have to fight through. You know what I'm saying? The Black experience, you know, and people do not realize that, you know, and sometimes in society, you know, talked about the fact that we come in from a hard day's work, but people love to hate us. You know what I'm saying? And then we have to fight through hypermasculinity. Then we have to fight through, you know, just our own personal doubts and all these different things. And that takes a toll on a man. And I don't care how long you've been saved, how long you've been walking this walk. You know what I mean? I've been walking with the Lord for a long time. And there's just those moments. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like what Pastor Avery just said, though. When you connect with that love language, it goes a mile. No, it goes miles and miles and miles. So, you know, just know that's important. You know?
Okay. Some viewer feedback. Harold says it can be acts of thoughts as well, like you guys mentioned on. I seen this. I knew you would like it. I bring home a sandwich. I think that was for you, Stacey.
No, how about a sandwich? You know, bro, man, sandwich. You know, sandwich.
Massive Bowl says for him, love is commitment, support, compassion, appreciation, gratitude towards one another. Charles said, love me flaws and all. Harold said it is all about your character. Massive Mobile came back and said, well, my wife surprised me with a watermelon soda while she was out shopping. That was love. And so Harold says you lost them on the Cowboys.
That's part of that
You lost
thing.
him when you mentioned the cowboy. That's okay. That's okay. Charles goes, feeling appreciated does go a long way. And Eric says to express that through action and such, doing the simple things and going that extra mile to make your soulmate feel whole without them having to request it.
Oh,
Now that's
oh.
important too,
Mm.
because that means you're paying attention. I shouldn't have to dictate to you and give you a play by play every time. You should be able to get out there on the field and make it do what it do. So little shade of love, but that's all right. We're gonna make it do what it do. All right, so the last one is kind of like a spurt. Okay. So I want the men again to put a king emoji in the chart if you know how to express your need for intimacy to your wife.
Mm.
If you know how to show it, how to express it, communicate. I need this to your wife. And as they're putting their crowns in the chat, their kings and crowns in the chat panel, I have it's like a statements I'm going to make. I
Okay.
want you to pick one up. Okay, y'all don't have to hit on all of them. Just Stacy, you hear what you want to speak on, you hit on it. Same with Avery and Jaquan. I'm going to say something, y'all pick it up and talk about it. All right.
Mhm.
Um. So we're waiting on the Kings to show up. How to express my love before we go there. Harold did want to piggyback on the part that he was never taught, I think, to that masculinity, but he's seen it. And he'll be the first to tell someone that it's okay to cry. And I will attest to this. He has made sure that because you need that older man to say to give you the
Mhm.
permission so that the younger ones can know. He said he's cried in other men, even his co-workers, and never felt any less of a man. But a man has to say that so the man that is taught that masculinity can know that it's okay and it's free to cry.
Mm.
So he said it, Stacy said it. Now y'all go ahead and do it. So here we go with the rapid fire. Here go the first one. Sometimes I want my wife to initiate intimacy. Sometimes I think I want sex more than my wife. Sometimes I don't want to be intimate, but I don't want her feeling the type of way.
Mm.
Intimacy can be more than sex. Withholding sex is not a healthy, or is it a healthy, good punishment?
That's
The devil
a
is a
rough
liar.
one there.
So I'm going to say them again and y'all pick up what you want to pick up.
All right.
Sometimes I want my wife to initiate.
Mm.
Sometimes I think I want sex more than my wife. Sometimes I don't want to be intimate, but I don't want her to feel away. Is intimacy more than sex?
It is.
Is withholding sex a healthy or good punishment?
The last
Mm.
Now,
one, the devil is a liar. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
agree with that at
Right. The
all.
devil is a liar. Satan, the Lord will rebuke you. Get thee behind me, Satan. You know what I'm saying?
see, ladies, you heard
You
that.
know?
He rebuked that. He said, listen, how we going to say to that one? No,
hmm Thou
it is
shall
not
not.
a good,
Thou shall
healthy
not.
punishment.
Yes, thou shall not. You know. So I would, you know, in real talk, intimacy is more than sex, definitely. You know.
Talk to me.
I
What
mean,
is it?
I mean, let's. I mean, let's just be real. I don't know if this fit, but if that's the case, then you you can be so connected with someone in their thoughts. There can be an emotional rendezvous you can have with your spouse.
Mm.
Mm.
You know, like I used to tell her, I said, "Babe, you don't want to get caught up in my verbal abyss." You know, just I'm not gonna
Right?
say the more stuff, but that's for me in the miss. You know,
I know this
that's
dude.
you MC too. Stop, but no, but seriously though, there's so much more that you can
Mhm.
do. I mean, for instance, I remember one of my friends basically told me, he said, before me and my wife got married, he said we had so much connection up here, I'm saying, and here. He
hmm
said the level of intimacy was just so deep that when they actually came together physically when they got married, it was amazing. because the level of intimacy they already experienced, and it doesn't always have to be physical. I agree with that. I agree with that. However, though, but it just can't end there, though. Just can't end there. Just because one is satisfied, you know what I mean? The other mate may desire to go even deeper than that, So but
So what I'm hearing you saying is there's sexual intimacy, but to really connect in that sexual intimacy, the intimacy has to happen outside of a bedroom.
Well,
other kind of connection. It can be a
and
mental connection. It can be a spiritual connection. It can be coming together. It's the time, quality.
But I want to say that. But then there's also some cases, though, for some men, in order to feel like they could connect spiritually, they need a physical. Because there are times where a lady may say, when I feel loved, what I'm saying, I'll offer you the sexual intimacy, and then you may get a man to say, in order for me to offer you the love that you need, I need the sexual intimacy first. So you get what I'm saying? So there's different places. People are at different places. So understanding that, understanding that situation. But I do agree with you too. I do agree with you. But I just realized there's so many different other dynamics to this mystery of love. Love is a mystery. We don't want to talk about it sometimes. We just want to make it seem like it's just happily ever after. You know what I'm saying? But there's a mystery behind love.
And that's a good point. That's a good point. Did anybody want to speak on? Sometimes I want to be intimate, but I don't want her to feel away. And this can go. Sometimes I don't feel like being sexually intimate, but I don't want her to think less of me, or I don't want to cuddle. I don't want to have the long conversation. I don't want to have that. Might be the moment where you want to be in your kingdom of nothing.
Just fix me a sandwich, woman.
And you ate already. How about the and you ate already? Okay.
I'm just playing. Please, I'm just playing.
But in those moments, it's like, is it okay
Yes.
for you not to want to have those intimate moments because that's the moment you want to have your kingdom of nothing, or whatever the reason may be, and it be okay, and you want us to be okay with it, or is it not okay?
Right.
So we're gonna pick that up.
I don't know if I'm picking that up, but I do want to say this. I remember I remember the first time my wife and I decided to actually come over to my place. And what she did blew my mind, and it had nothing to do with sex. And women are great at this. This, but this really, I knew I really wanted to be with her when she did this. She said, "Baby, I'm gonna wash your hair and just give you a massage. It seems like you had a rough day." Now, for me, and this is up to for me.
Lord is my shepherd. You know what I want.
Every time I got around a girl, I wanted to have sex. For that time, I was like, "Yo, sex! I could do this every night with her." And then we had sex, and it was even much more amazing because I was like, "Yo, she really loves me." So that was, and I don't even know if it's answering that question, but for me, the sex didn't get me. That act of loving on me, washing my hair, rubbing me down like that, I was like, man, that was that. Okay, I had a mental bust. If you understand what I'm saying,
a mental orgasm. This is
I didn't know how grown I could be. Yes, I had a mental orgasm.
Well, the Lord is your shepherd, and He knows what you want.
There you go.
Lord is my shepherd. He know what I need. So that does answer the question of intimacy being more than sex, because that was touch. That was touch for you, and an act of service.
Yes.
So y'all don't shun these love languages, child. I'm trying to bless somebody. Okay?
Listen, I laughed at first. When I first heard the book, I laughed. But then when I start reading it and it start hitting home, me and my baby start reading it, and we start doing a test every night. It's real. It's real.
Yes. We get some comments. Harold says, "Somebody please make him a sandwich." Ingrid says, "You still need both," which is true. But one does heighten the other. Harold, describe what you're Talking about as that's definitely being intimate and a form of respect. It's also intimacy. So I
Mm.
want to ask, is it okay for you to not want to be either physically intimate or just in those
Or
other ways of being touched and that be okay? Or should you be expected that as long as we want it, as long as we want to cuddle, as long as we want to be intimate, as long as we want to do those things, a massage and foot rubbing and even be physical, sexually physical, y'all should always also.
Mm,
Well, okay, let me make sure I understand. Okay, because this is a very critical question.
yeah.
You don't want this one to, there's
Mm-mm.
misunderstanding on this. But I guess we have to really ask ourselves, and especially when we look at 1 Corinthians chapter 13, I believe, I forgot which verse, but it talks about how love is not self-seeking. It doesn't seek its own way.
Verse
And I,
5. Go ahead.
yeah, verse 5, right? And I think the struggle for a lot of us sometime, even though we may have the physical instinct passion to want to be physically intimate, we still have to also ask ourselves, if our spouse is probably not there emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm,
what degree I'm going to walk in tenderness, care, and concern for them. You know,
Wow.
mm,
I
Great
think
answer.
that's where the
wow.
struggle can be for a lot of us. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and let's be honest. Save people. We don't always hit the hit it on hit it accurately. We don't always hit the
Right.
bullseye in that because there's those moments. And then I want to say there's also the flip side as well. There's also that desire sometime when you're probably not thinking you're not thinking of the romanticism of the intimacy, but there's just the physical passion and the desire for your body to connect and
Mhm.
Mm.
just for that actual moment. You know what I'm saying? Some people will say it's the instinctive uh
Mm,
uh um the instinctive pleasure you're pursuing,
Mm.
mhm.
and sometimes you might not necessarily be thinking about, oh, how I love you, oh, you're wonderful, and all that kind of stuff. You're just saying, you know what, the desire just to be connected physically with you right now, it's on and popping and it's intense, and you know what I mean, like Mills
Mhm.
Lane, let's get it on. There's those moments.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Mm-hmm.
so there's those different varieties. There's those different varieties of intimacy. But believe it or not, though, even though when it just feels instinctive, it feels just more of the physical pleasure thing like that. That still is a form of intimacy too, because
Yes.
physically you're into each other physically. So the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, understanding those different dynamics and knowing that, in the sanctity of marriage, that God honors all of that. But we have to always ask ourselves, are we really seeking to fulfill 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5, where it says love is not self-seeking. And that's a battle
Mhm.
for all of us, even outside the bedroom. Real talk, real
Mhm.
spit.
And I think
Mm.
you hit a very powerful thing when you said that, finding the balance, but as a form of that. Because I mean, let's keep it real. Sometimes even from a body of believers, we over spiritualize things sometimes when there's a natural component, like you said, but
Mm.
that thing is still very spiritual. And you have to look at it as a form of intimacy. Because let's face it, if I can't fulfill my emotional and physical desires,
Mm.
then there's a good chance that something else could creep in. Now,
Mm.
there's a scripture in Second Corinthians chapter 7, I think it's around verse 5, where it talks about one verse that says, defraud not. Another verse that says, keep not yourself from one another.
I'm glad you
It
bring
says,
that up.
except for content with prayer and fasting. It says that you may come together again so that the enemy does not test you for your inconsistency. So basically, that's not just your body. You know what I mean? That's part of mind too. However, that don't mean that you know what I mean. Turn over, I want your body. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to objectify your
Mm-hmm.
significant other and treat them like an object.
Right.
You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? Where you're, because then that's a different type of, can I say the word? That could be teetering on emotional rape.
Yes.
You know what I
And
mean?
also marital rape. I mean, that's a
On
thing.
marriage rape. However, so that's what Pastor said. Pastor Stacy said, it's that
Mhm.
fine line, because if we're connecting on that all these other areas, we got to be able to connect even on the physical part, because it's less likely that your significant other, male or female, will have wandering eyes, turning into addiction to internet, all these different other things that open the door when you not only not fulfill that intimacy part, but punish your partner for having those desires.
That's true.
Which is one of the questions that you have. So sex is never, withholding is never a punishment, if you will, even appropriate. There's so many scriptures, and this is not a Bible study lesson, but there's so many scriptures that speak against that.
Stacy?
Let's say one thing, Pastor Avery, I appreciate you saying that. It should never be held as a form of punishment, but I also want to say this too. It should never also be a reward thing neither. Like, if you do this for me, I'll do that for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, real talk though.
That's good.
That's the form of prostitution.
That's good.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And
wow.
you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna give me sex based off of merit, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's you know what I'm saying? That's out of pocket. You know what I mean? So I'm so glad you brought that passage today.
That was good, because people use it as a reward. If you do this, and I make sure I give you, and it's more of, I just want to have this moment with you. I want to be connected with you. I want to love you in this man. I want to have that. And so that's why I asked from the male's point of view, because we know, well, if a woman don't feel like doing it, don't do it. If a woman don't feel, but what if the man don't? Are we supposed to make them? Should they not have the right to say, I don't? Because again, that's the masculine thing where the man's supposed to always. They're always ready, as long as you,
or
you know what I'm saying, it is what it is.
Something else because he don't want to that night. He tired. Right. Well, who you been giving it to then?
And that's what I'm trying to definitely have the conversation of. That's not always that. It's okay for them to also say no. Just like it's okay for you to say, not tonight, baby. Can we just cuddle? Can we just this? Can we that? If he says the same thing, would you look at him strange and funny? No, they're not. Happy spouse, happy house. Okay, so I've had some comments of. You said cutting off sex is not punishment. Women have been using it for eons. We know that, Harold. That's why I brought it up.
Stop.
Oh, but intimacy is gives you the desire for sex, is what Massive Mobile said, and Eric is yes, he is agreeing. And I have a final question in that conundrum about intimacy. Sometimes I want my wife to initiate it. Now, I've heard this in sessions with various clients where that is something where sometimes if you initiate it, that makes me feel loved today. That makes me feel like you want me instead of I'm always the one that have to I want you. What can't you come in sometimes and just be like, hey, it is what it is. Let's get into it. Let's have fun or whatever. And that's physical sex, or baby, do you need your feet rubbed? You've had a long day working today. Baby, do you need a back massage? I got you. We just lay down. I got you. I got the stuff in here, baby. Let's do this doggone thing. Okay. Is it something that you think, yes, I want the world to hear? We want the women sometimes to initiate the back rubs, the foot rubs, physical sex, hair washing. Like, do you want the women to initiate? Or no, I'm a man. I got that.
It's a little weird for me because for me, I want it all the time. I hope I ain't been too grown, but I want it all the time. But with women, so many different things go into it with women. It's kind of hard. I don't know, to say she could be having a rough day and that made it just turn it off for her. So I don't know. That's a sticky situation. Nobody likes to be rejected. I understand that, but with so many different things going on with women, I tend to fall back and try to say, let her kind of be the person to say with that. Because for me, I'll go every day, and she could just walk by and look at me, and I'm gonna be like, "Ooh, come on, babe." But women are so different. It's kind of hard sometimes. for me, I'm like, and should I, shouldn't I? Because she had a rough day. So sometimes it can be a little rough.
So do you want her then sometimes to initiate that so that she won't have to play that guessing game?
What you say?
She yelling in the background.
Yes, I heard her. Stay in the living room, Jerry.
Stay in the living room.
Put it in
I
the chat.
guess for me, I think I do need to kind of initiate a little bit more. I think I do. I
No, I'm
think
saying
I
do you
do.
want her to? The question is, do you
She,
want the
no,
women
she
to
doesn't. She
initiate sometimes?
initiates quite often.
Oh,
She
okay.
feels
Oh.
always. She feels
Oh,
always.
okay,
Oh,
okay. So
see, that's what I'm saying.
listen, that's different.
Everyone is different. Everyone is different. You know what I mean? So,
So do you, Stacey, Avery, and in that
her,
regard? And I'm not just talking only the
huh?
physical intimacy. I'm talking that sometimes do you want the woman to initiate a back massage, to give you a foot rub, to give you a leg rub, to give you
Yes.
something
Oh,
that speaks
definitely,
intimacy to you?
definitely.
Because you know we'll
Mhm.
ask you in a second, baby, rub our feet.
Definitely,
Okay,
no,
give a little.
definitely. There's no doubt about that for
Right.
sure.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I
Does
can
that
can
make
I
you feel
can I
love?
can I throw a curveball in this real quick? I'm gonna throw a real strong curveball though.
You ready for it?
I think, and I'm glad that Avery brought that scripture up. Because real talk though, most men when they get shocked is when the initiation is real hard before they get married. Then all of a sudden they lock it up.
See what I'm? There we go.
Clink, clink.
Mm.
Where the
You
key?
married a nun. You married, as Bernie Mac said, you married a nun.
Oh wow!
I can't get none. I
Yes,
won't
you
see
know,
none. Can't touch none.
I went from being Pentecostal to a Catholic.
Let ah! What a
American.
pack.
Oh man!
And let me tell you how the comment section's lit up. Let me explain. Let me let them chime in for a second.
mean,
Geraldine says,
But I'm
always.
just. But can I say something though? I do want to
Mhm.
say too though. I'm a pastor too. But I'm also speaking from a pastoral perspective too. So I'm just I'm just not, because the thing is, it's just that there's just those different dynamics that happen. You know what I mean? And there's been a lot of brothers that come in my office talking to me, crying and just saying, man, when we were dating, you know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about Christian men. I know we weren't supposed to, but bro, she was all over me. And then when we got married, you know what I'm saying? I kept up the romance. I kept up all this, man. And it's like it evaporated. You said, where has this passion gone?
Wow!
I mean, I'm being honest. I mean, you get what I'm saying, and I'm saying this is like 60 to 65%. I mean, pastoral counsel. I'm just like, wow, Lord, this is a problem. That's why I'm saying I'm glad
So
that
just like
Brother
they always
Avery
say,
brought that. And this is a whole another thing, you know what I mean? So I'm sorry for bringing that up. I'm sorry about that.
no, you're fine because we say that often. The way you start
Mhm.
is the way you need to maintain. And we
Yeah.
say that to the men all the time, like
Yes.
wine and dine us and do this and do that.
Yeah.
Don't just stop it. And so the flip side tonight is about the flip side. Ladies, I'm
Mhm.
not trying to be team men, but I also know as a counselor,
You know what
I
I'm
have to
talking about,
promote
right?
my men too. Yes, because
Yeah.
we have to see the other side of it. They're saying don't start nothing that you can't maintain when the marriage get here. And it's not like I want you to not do it or to stop it. I'm asking you maintain.
Right.
And that's just as important, which is why tonight's topic had to be what we talked about to end love without 14 days of love, because they need works. Love without it, it's dead. They don't feel it. They don't see it. You have to
Right.
you have to initiate that back to them just like you want them to, so you reciprocate it. So Jordan says, I always initiate. Charles said, we heard her even in Tennessee.
I'm done.
This one goes, sometimes my wife is a cold turkey.
What?
Harold says, you are blessed, brother. Hold on to her.
Oh.
Cherie, she has joined us. She says, we know how to initiate. It's about our needs being met before that. Are we having real conversations that we feel valued? So when I initiate, I know I have your full attention and your full respect. Now, that is true. Sometimes in order for us to initiate, we gotta be I'm gonna say this here. I did say it in Touch Me, Tease Me episode, which I hope y'all get into. It was on the on Saturday. Women Emotions
Mhm.
is connected to our vagina.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And if we don't feel loved, if we don't feel appreciated, you ain't
Doesn't
pouring
really
into
matter.
us, you ain't doing the things, you ain't showing us intimate, we ain't gonna initiate nothing. We ain't not even
Yeah.
gonna want to. The desire is not gonna be there. And so, but when we do it, know in return, we feel fully loved by you. We feel fully respected. We feel the attention. We feel all the things. Or was you getting ready to say, Stacey, you gonna chime in?
Yeah, I want to, and I agree with you. I don't doubt that. I don't, but I want to give you a quick little situation. So
Mm-hmm.
a friend of mine, basically was with his spouse, and just there was the whining and dining. He said there was such emotional connection with her, and he said they were really on point. And then he said she ended the night just saying, just because we connected on this level don't mean we're gonna connect in a bed.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it brought a strain.
Mm-hmm.
And you get the point that I'm trying to say is just that this is a familiar cycle as well. And sis, the one that said that earlier, I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. But what people don't realize, and you also you've said it too, because you're a therapist, and my wife is one too, is the fact that this is a common practice that's happening within a lot of our Christian circles as well. I'm not denying, I will not deny the fact that we have to connect emotionally and all those different things, but there's still these moments where a man will bend over backwards for that, and then at the same time they still feel lost, and she'll go home and go to sleep. She'll go home and go to sleep because she felt fulfilled. She felt fulfilled, but she'll go home and go to sleep. Wake up the next morning, he's upset, frustrated, saying, "Why are you feeling frustrated and upset?" You get what I'm saying? So there is a strain in this. You know what I'm saying? So we just, granted, I know, I understand that, but it's an epidemic in a lot of our Christian marriages too. So we cannot deny that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking on that other side as well. Like you said, this is for the men tonight. Sis, I understand that, but please keep in mind this is a problem in
Yeah,
marriages. It is
it
a
is.
problem in marriages. What were you gonna say, Pastor? I want to hear what Pastor Avery said.
So, and I definitely hear what the comment, saying, I need to be fulfilled. And I had a homegirl from New York that said, you get the mind, the will follow. And you can fill in the blanks of what will follow. Um, so I definitely understand the need from that. The only thing is, and I think what this is learning your mate, knowing, who you're connected to, and that takes time. Um, you don't want to, although I agree with saying, that when the women say, okay, when my needs are met, I'm emotional, I'll initiate it. You got to be careful in that. In one aspect, you don't want to create, like Pastor Stacy said earlier, a reward-based system, like
Right.
the Scooby snack. So I'll do it because you know what it is. Bro, I watch a lot of cartoons. I was
No, you just childish. That's it.
duly noted.
We
Duly noted.
Word
But
up.
sometimes, especially when
Lord.
you got your one, Veronica, me and Veronica have conversations all the time, and she uses the term your person. Sometimes if you want the change, and this is one of the things my pastor taught me, is sometimes you have to sow what you want. I want quality time from my mate, therefore I sow quality time. Instead of waiting for it to turn around and be an initiated base. You know what I mean? Because men, we're not too hard to figure out. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's that stroke of the head. It's that, that kind word or whatever that needs to turn that around in some cases. I'm not saying all the time. To be like, you know what? I got a good thing, and he or she, because it could be both, don't want to lose that. Because what happens is, and we talked about this, happy spouse, happy house, which another reason why y'all gotta watch that again, because this actually came up, and Pastor Murray was saying that, you know what I mean, the quality time and the conversation is to keep the third parties out, because if they ain't talking to you, they talking to someone else. They should be an old song my mama age, not my age, because Ronnie always calling me old, but used to be called the cleanup woman.
I know.
And she used to say, I don't have to, we do all that. She just the cleanup woman. And basically what
Listen,
she was saying is,
I clean up all the men y'all girls leave behind.
yeah. And so when you don't value your significant other and make them feel like they have to do this to earn your love, you're preparing for that third person, the cleanup woman, and even the cleanup man. So there's a responsibility of fellas when you get that one that's pouring back into you, learn how to reciprocate. Now that's what I'm speaking to the men. Learn how to reciprocate. Because if you stop talking to it, you better believe the one you think getting on your
Johnny
nerves.
is.
Oh, Jody calling your woman phone. Or dare I say it, now she's starting to entertain her work husband. And that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, because I don't believe in having a work husband, child.
Yeah, there's so many that do. Corporate America, there's a bunch. But that's what I'm saying. So sometimes I do get what you're saying, but sometimes there also has to be don't make it so stringent, whereas it's a reward-based system, and so what you want from your mate.
Right. And so I think we learned a lot. Cherie ended with, we need to practice intimacy daily.
Yes.
I think that's important. I think that's valued. I think that's wisdom, especially if you want to keep it healthy and keep it flourishing, keep it going. And the importance of that. Anybody want to speak on anything else before we close out? Because we are at the end. You guys, y'all listen. Y'all showed up and showed out with this conversation for our finale live stream on 14 Days of Love. So my kings on the panel, would you like to end it with anything that you have not spoken on that needs to be said from your perspective to help us women to love you in a greater way or better understand the love to give?
I don't.
Okay. Jaquan, any final thoughts, statements?
This has been a real treat for me. The panel, you guys did an awesome job. Veronica, great job moderating this thing. But at the end of the day, anything that can help me be a better man to my wife, a better man just in general, is always a blessing. And even with, my wife putting the comments in there and laughing, my wife is amazing to put up with me. She, I thank her for that. And I truly prayed for my wife, and God gave her to me. So anything like this that can come on and help me be a better man, a better Christian, a better husband, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So thank you guys. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for just hearing another perspective, another male answering some of the questions that may have come through my mind, and just hearing you guys, how you guys deal with it, has been amazing and great for me tonight. And I thank y'all.
Amen. Amen.
Ingrid did try to slide in the last question.
Okay.
And she goes, what if the spouse doesn't reciprocate? So when you are sowing the seed, and like you were saying, you have to give it, you have to sow it, don't just wait, and it's not a reward system, it's not a punishment, all the things. But what if the spouse doesn't reciprocate? Like, you continue to be the giver.
Good, Pastor Joe.
Question is, what if they don't? I mean, what if they don't? I mean, so what? Do you stop? You stop loving? I mean, that's just real talk, because the thing is, we've been taught. I mean, let's just talk about it. We've been taught in our evangelical Christian circle, on the sideways tip, that there's not going to be any seasons of suffering in your relationship. And I'm not trying to make it seem like it's going to be, but the goal is, and I'll say this: if there's no reciprocation and you keep trying to press in, there's a high possible chance that therapy might be the next step. And I would encourage therapy. If the spouse doesn't want to go, you begin the process. The goal is to heal, because it's to some degree it can be very traumatic. But just knowing the goal is to really, ask God to give you the strength and the courage to continue on in that. You know, and I know that's an unpopular answer, but sometimes God calls us to seasons of suffering in our relationships because there's something that may be going on inwardly with your spouse at the moment on why they're not able to reciprocate. You know, but the question is, are you willing to stand in the gap and hold them up or her up for that? You know, because a lot of times we're told just to kick them to the curb, kick them out.
Right. Right.
But
Wow.
that's
They don't
not
put
living.
up.
No. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we treat marriage like Hollywood sometimes, you know, a
Oh,
contract.
wow.
So
And so just to be clear, she's not saying that's her situation. It was a
no,
question.
you're
from
right.
people.
I'm just saying in general, because that was the last thing I was going to say besides just, you know, fix me a sandwich, you know what I mean? But the point that I'm trying to say is that if you find yourself keep hitting a block, there's a high possible chance interventions needed. And there's nothing wrong with believers going through postmarital counseling as well as premarital counseling. So that's all I would probably say.
And maintenance, because some people you go through premarital counseling and you're good, but then you can have a maintenance where you just checking in, you
Right.
just making sure, you just
Yeah.
tapping back in, you're trying to get a little bit, Harold says that it's time for conversation, which communication always goes back to communication. Always go back to communication. So you guys, this has been the longest live stream. Y'all got into it. I'm trying to tell you. And I want to make sure we got all things talked about and discussed because we are coming to a close on 14 days of love virtual conference. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. We do have raffles to give away. We have 3 last raffles to give away, but I also want to give you a little plug. Tomorrow, I am going to come in, but it's going to be like a little video where I'm doing a recap of what we talked about and what to expect for next year because we're going to come back another year. Another 14 days of love, but next year it's going to be all live stream, no recorded videos, all real talk, real time, so we can get into it and have the interaction, and really help somebody through the comment sections with a possible in-person event to bring it all to a draw and a close. So look forward to that in the next year. But tonight we are going to do 3 raffles, and in the raffles I have a certain way for you guys to win. So we have a lovers and friends raffle. Okay, this is that touch me tease me raffle. This is let me shake some stuff up and spice up some things. Now in that raffle we have, let me get it, hold on.
And I just want to thank you guys for coming. I learned a lot from you guys. So
Yeah, I did too.
I learned
Me
a
too.
lot. Thank you, Pastor,
Man, it's a
for
blessing,
joining
man.
us. Thank you, Jaquan.
Okay.
Thank
Jaquan,
you,
it's cool to
gentlemen.
meet you virtually, man.
Yeah, it's very nice to meet you. Great stuff. Thank you guys.
Yeah, likewise for the both of y'all. Hey, brother, do I have to stay for the raffle?
You might win. So yeah, kicking around. We're only gonna be like a minute.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So you're eligible. You and your wife are eligible. So
We
I
are
want
okay
you.
with it. Yeah.
I know you're tired, bro. We're gonna get you out of here, Pastor.
Yeah.
All right, because I want to make sure you guys see what's inside of it. So we have the lovers and friends raffle. This is for that mate that just want to, recognize that not only is this my lover, but this is also my friend because we got to keep that connection going in order for the intimacy that we talked about tonight to keep flowing. But sometimes we want to have a little fun. So this is for the couples on the line. Like I said, we have 3. So if you don't win this one, you may win another one. This is for the couples on the line. The way you win this, we have from our sexologist who donated the items in our kit tonight. It is a body painting. Yes, get into it. Body painting. We also have our jade soy wax candle. And so what happens with this, you burn it, it creates massage oil. You pour it out, get that good massage going, as well as the scent. We have some water-based lubricants. We have some nice edible candies that you put in places. We have a romantic, sexy, and naughty coupon book. So you just flip through it one day, pull one of these coupons out, and your mate will oblige. So one is just a kiss me session or a tickle me Elmo shower. Something to have fun. Keep it all going. Keep it all going. And then the last piece is this intimacy cookbook. So it's an aphrodisiac cookbook, different items and different recipes of things that will get you desirable, energetic, stamina, ready to have fun and enjoy your mate. So the aphrodisiac cookbook is definitely something that is interesting because you can
Might
cook
be a
together,
sandwich
enjoy the
recipe in
meal.
there.
Might be a good sandwich, couple sandwiches in there, okay?
Or Ava Viagra grinder.
Yeah, extra meat. No.
So the way to win the lovers and
Oh God.
friends, hear me clearly. Y'all be ready on the keyboard. The first couple, so the husband or the wife can be the one to tag in. The first couple to correctly complete this lyric will win the lovers and friends.
Mm.
I'm going to start and end the lyric. You have to tell me what's in the middle. And I'm not a good singer, so just bear with me. You ready? Here you go. Drifting on a memory. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Well, well, well.
Oh, I know it too, but I can't play.
No, you can't. Jaquan, Avery, and Stacy, I can't play.
Oh, we can't play? See, I know.
Cannot. That's why I said Trinice should have been out.
Man.
But if you can finish the rest of that lyric, it starts with
Place I read, you
drifting
said I can say
on a
it.
memory. You better stay in that room.
Geraldine
Oh,
can say it.
Okay, we
we,
starting. But that's not the end of it. Drifting on a memory.
she said that's not
All
it.
right. Ain't no place I'd rather be than with you.
That's it. You're right.
What else?
That's what I
There's
meant.
more to it. There's more to it.
Again, she said there's more to it.
Drifting on a memory. Half y'all got it part. Ain't no place I'd rather be than with you. What's left? What's left? What's left? Well, well, well. Right before that. Come on now. All y'all got it halfway done. I need you to finish it off for me. What's the last piece? What's the last piece? Come on, get this rendezvous in the box. Come on. And I said body painting, so this is not the good that goes on the canvas. Cherie Woods. Cherie Woods. Ain't no place I'd rather be than with you. Loving you. Well, well, well. All right. So Cherie Woods, you are going to be the winner of the Lovers and Friends package with all of the goodies inside of it to make for a fun, spicy week. I don't know, child, but they will be going out on tomorrow. Oh, Master said his live lag, so he couldn't get in. You got another chance again. Next, we're back to the women. Solo dolo individual woman. This is the queendom of nothing. Because
Oh,
while y'all in the kingdom of nothing, child, we need something doing when we in the queendom of nothing. So for the queendom of nothing, this is just something really nice for the little ladies. We got a nice little coffee mug on behalf of the Dior movement. We have a bath tea. So this is not for you to drink. This is for you to put in the bath and let it smell good. And oh, I've tried it before. It smells so amazing. It's in its own little tea bag so it doesn't get all over the place because that cleanup is not nice. We also have a nice notebook journal in here, a self-love journal. And then we also have hold on. And then we have the Tabitha Brown, that's your business, where she talks a little bit and gives you definitely some good nuggets about life and different things going on with you. But she also has parts in the chapter where she gives recipes because she's a vegan, she's a healthy eater. So if you want this book, definitely that'd be something you want to tap into. So as a woman, For the Queendom of Nothing. I want you to tell me who the artist is. Now, Cherie, you've already won, so you can't win again. Cherie, I want the viewers to tell me who is the artist who sung these lyrics. I'm not the average girl from the video. My worth's not determined by the price
I
of
can't
my
answer.
clothes. No matter what I'm wearing, I will always be.
Mm.
And who is she?
Oh, you went to the classics.
I won't, because it talks about self love and in the Queendom of Nothing. We need to know to love ourselves, baby. So, ladies, who's the artist? Who's the artist? Who is the artist, ladies? Who's the artist? The lyrics are I'm not the average girl from the video. My worth's not determined by the price of my clothes. No matter what I'm wearing, I will always be.
Come on, y'all.
What's the rest of
Don't
that? The rest
disappoint.
of that song tells you who the artist is.
Exactly. Oh, so we already answered it.
Sheree already won. All right, Tamika. Tamika McHated. India Ari. No matter what I'm wearing, I will always be the India Ari. All right, so you get that lovely Queendom box collection. And now for the men's. Get back to the men's, and it's the last raffle of the night. And this one's a goodie. This one is a goodie. I'm trying to tell you. I ain't trying to hype you up. I'm trying to be real. And I need y'all get your lag together, James, so to make sure you can get it if you want it. Get your lag together, brother. Get your lag together. Now with this one, I have the men checking in. So men, make sure you're still logged in where you can give me your answer. And then of course, I'm gonna follow this up tonight with a request for your contact information so that I can mail this out tomorrow on V-Day. So you will definitely have all your stuff before this weekend is even out. So for the men, you have in your kingdom, your what we call in your place is called the King Kong, the kingdom of nothing grounds. The kingdom of nothing grounds. You have yours, so you ain't got to go nowhere. This huge, beautiful Yeti mug is about what 32 ounces. Thank you for being awesome. So you can fill up your cup, and you ain't got to go nowhere but chill. Okay. I got you your own personal coupon booklet just for men. So whatever's in it, they got a day without chores, a day of whatever you want to do, breakfast in bed, a full body massage, boys night out, whatever. Coupon booklet full. So I know you guys like, this is what I want. So can you give it to me? So you have that booklet, but then we also have the massager. Because y'all be having back problems, shoulder problems, and some more stuff. And sometimes I just want to get on massage. So we have a neck and a back massager in here. So you just put put it in place, turn it on, get your drink, sit in the chair, and you be in the zone, child. So that is for the men in the kingdom of nothing. Now, the way that the men can win, the raffle goes to the first man that can tell me the infamous line that Denzel Washington said in Training Day when the hood turned on him.
Ah,
Men only, men only,
that was too easy, but go ahead.
men only. What was the infamous line that Denzel Washington said in Training Day when the hood turned on him? And this one goes to. This one goes to.
Well,
Oh,
when I
sorry,
typed in,
Jerry. She said all the questions. Oh, Jason fell asleep, Ingrid. How you fall asleep in the middle of a you were texting. You were in the middle of it. Sorry, Jerry, if it's being delayed on your end. Oh, Harold don't remember. That's all right. Eric, you still on here? Oh, he don't remember
Oh,
Yes, he
Jerry
got that
wants to know
shaking
the
his head.
question again.
I'll do the question again. Charles, do you know it? What is the infamous line? The infamous line. Oh, no, Charles. Now I'm putting cases on all y'all. Right before, either right before that or right after that. The infamous line. Think about what I also have been talking about tonight that the men need. The infamous line that Denzel Washington said in Training Day when the hood turned on him. This is when the white boy was taking him down.
Wait.
If you need a hint, I will help you. She said, "Make me a sandwich." I'm done with you. Let me help you. Let me help you. He was standing on top of the car. And if I can give you another hint, the question is, what was the infamous line that Denzel Washington said in Training Day when the police officer finally got him? The hood came out and they wasn't gonna shoot him. It was like, nope, I ain't gonna have no parts in this, and I'm not gonna help you anymore. And he said this infamous line that the gift is named after.
Thank you.
That I also said when I said what the gift was.
Come on.
Y'all.
Nah, that's
And
it.
no,
That
it's not.
ain't
I can put cases all on you. Know that's not the infamous line. Everybody don't remember that line, Charles. What line did they remember, Charles? What's the line? Listen, Stacey, you know it, don't you?
I'm being silly.
Yeah, no. We know
I
that.
hope y'all know it.
Much
I
as
gave y'all
love
some
him,
great clues. I don't know what other clues to give y'all.
I'm the poop. No.
Mm-mm.
Nah, I know. I'm trying to.
Eric, Charles.
One thing
Harold
I know
done gave up.
show. One thing I know for sure about this show. This is chess. It ain't checkers.
Harold, you better pick it up. Ain't that a song? There you go.
Who
King
said it first?
Kong ain't got
Ain't got
nothing
nothing
on
on
me.
me.
You know I
And
put
the
that. You know I put
name.
that in the. Hey, you know I put that in the
Yeah,
chat, right?
just live here. Shoe program. King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Yeah, I know I put that in there, right?
And the name of the gift. Did you win?
Look. Hey, what did I put up there, Abe? You see my response in my comments?
I think that's only we can see that one though.
Oh, you put it in the private comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yes, King Kong ain't got
Got
nothing
nothing
on
on
me.
me.
And I said the name of the name of the gift is King Kong, child. I said that.
She did. I mean,
I was trying to
Look,
give
like
you a
I
clue
said,
early
you
on.
know what I mean? Yo, this is chess. It ain't checkers.
This ain't checkers. All right,
That was
so
another
I thank
iconic.
you guys again for staying long with me. I appreciate you guys. I love you. Thank you again for the panel that has been with me. And we're going to head out for the rest of the night. We're going to give y'all time to go back to sleep as is. Have a great Valentine's Day tomorrow, loving on one another, and stay tuned for the video. All you got to do is go in and follow the link that you have been to watch the pre-recorded videos, just so that you can get a recap of what's been talked about and some more information on how to prepare for our next event and our next live. So until then, deuces, and have a great night.
thank you guys.
Peace.
Hold on. Yeah.